Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about zeroing in your pistol optic. Okay, so the main point I'm going to say here is that you want to zero in your optic independent of your iron sights. Okay, now you can use your iron sights initially to get you on the paper. Okay, so initially what I will do is once I mount the optic, I mount the sights, I will slave my red dot to my iron sights, right? And then I decide at what distance I want to get a zero at, and then I'll zero in the optic independently. Okay. Now, something to keep in mind, so this is something that absolutely kind of drove me a little crazy today, because I have here this Brownell slide, right? And I've built a couple of polymer 80s with these Brownell slides. Holosun 507, right? That's my favorite pistol optic right now. And then I've got the Ameriglow sights on this, which are give me a perfect co-witness at 20 yards. Okay, so that works perfect. So now I get this different slide, all right, for this G19, right? And this is not a Brownell slide. This is from a different manufacturer, and I can't remember who that is right now. So same optic, same iron sights, completely different co-witness. Okay, whereas on this Brownell slide, the Ameriglow sights with the Holosun 507, I get a perfect co-witness at 20 yards. Okay, using this slide, same iron sights, same optic, at the same distance. If I'm using my iron sights, I'm at the bottom of my paper over there. Okay, so with that gun, I'm on my bullseye. Right, with this one over here, I'm at the bottom of the paper. Okay, so apparently, just the way this slide is cut, the way the red dot is cut out and recessed in, it's different between these two slides. Also, there's, as you can see over here, there's different cuts on the slide over here on the top compared to this one. All right, so this one's got a top window over here, right? You can see the top window over here. This one's got a window on the side over here. All right, so these are really small, minor differences, but when you're shooting out to 20 yards, just a little bit, a little bit of a change in the height of the front or back is going to change things completely. Okay, so I kind of wanted to put that out there to make you guys aware that as you go from slide to slide, right, the same iron sights are going to work out differently from one slide to the next. Okay, now with this Brownell slide over here, initially when I first started building these, I was using the the Holosun 507C, but for iron sights, I was using these fiber optic sights. Okay, so I was using these fiber optic sights, and what I found is that when I use these sights, if I'm shooting iron sights only, I tend to shoot low. I'll shoot at the bottom of that paper over there, just because that front sight post is a little high. So did a little experimenting. I ended up going to these Ameriglow sights. Well, actually, the Ameriglow sights on this one over here, right? Ameriglow sights, and with this one over here, I've got a perfect co-witness. All right, to my red dot at 20 yards. So here's the thing, I decide what distance I want to have my zero at, right? And then I figure out, and then I basically go shopping around trying to find iron sights that will match that. Okay, so we don't slave the optic to the iron sights. Okay, the iron sights are the backup here. Okay, the optic is what rules. So you decide what distance you want your optic at, and then you find the iron sights that will match that. Now, with this one over here, as I was saying earlier, I put the Ameriglow sights on here, right? And at 20 yards, I'm finding that if I'm using iron sights, I'm aiming at the bottom of the paper. And yeah, it has something to do with the way that the slide is cut. So what I ended up doing is I used the Ameriglow front sight, but then I got the rear sight that came with this fiber optic. So I got two different sets of sights here. Okay, so you got AmeriGlow on the back, and whatever brand fiber optic this is from Amazon, that's on the rear sight. Okay, so that's how I got this to give me a co-witness, right? To give me a perfect, an absolute co-witness. I would have preferred a lower 1/3, but you know, at some point maybe I'll find iron sights to give me that. But right now I'm gonna have to settle for the absolute co-zero, absolute co-witness that I have here. Now, the nice thing about the Holosun 507s is when I shoot this circle only. Okay, because what happens is with this in circle only mode, you know, basically I got my front sight post here. That shows me the circle, and then the optic gives me the circle around this, so the two, they kind of work together instead of like being in each other way. I don't want two dots on top of each other. I want that dot, right, and then I want my circle from the optic around it. And if you're shooting at let's say at 20 yards, that 32 MOA circle, you know, is, you know, it's only about 3 or 4 inches, you know, so it's pretty small, you know. And at closer distances, right, at 7 yards, it's only about 2 inches wide. So the 32 MOA circle works really great for pistol shooting. Okay, now I'm going to go a little further beyond that, right? Just for you guys that don't know, obviously, well, obviously, but some of you guys that don't know, for your front sight post, right, you're going to need this Glock tool. Right, it's like $5 on Amazon, right? That's for your front sight post. You know, it's got like these thin walls. You get this. That's how you change out your front sight. Put a little Loctite in there so it keeps it in place. Okay. The rear sight. Let's talk about that. About a year ago when I started building these P80s, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm telling him, okay, I'm making this P80. How do I get the rear sights into this you know, into this Glock or Glock wannabe, whatever it is, you know, Glock clone. And you know, I'm like, do I buy the rear sight pusher, right? This tool. And back then, like, it was like $120. He's like, no, don't waste your money on that. He's like, all you need is this $5 nylon punch and a hammer. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna wrap the slide in a piece of leather like this, right? And put it in the vise, and then you're just gonna tap this back and forth. And I've done that for a couple of these slides. I gotta tell you guys, it is a pain in the ass, man. It is an absolute pain in the ass. I can never get these things to go perfectly center. I was doing this earlier on this one over here because I had to change out this, you know, the rear sight to the tall, you know, to the taller one. Right, that's something I figured out today. So initially, I wrapped this in that piece of leather. I put it in the, you know, I put it in the vise, wrapped up in the leather, and I got the nylon punch here, and I'm punching this thing back. It's going too far this way, then I'm punching on this side too far that way. So I keep going back and forth. I keep getting more and more frustrated. And through all that, I didn't realize that the leather, you know, kind of slipped down a little bit, and the edge of the vise is basically hitting the optic over here and scratching the shit out of it. I mean, it still works and everything, but now I got scratches on this optic. So the point here is, buy the rear sight pusher. I just ordered it myself like 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes before I did this video. They're on Amazon. I was able to get one for $20 now. Okay, so last year they were like $120. Now I guess enough people have made these you know, doing these P80s that they come out there, they're making them cheaper. So $20, and it's a pretty simple idea. You know, basically you just lock in this over here, you turn it, and it pushes this thing back and forth. Save yourself this nightmare of putting scratches on your optic, because now it's like, okay, the nylon is like $5. The rear sight pusher is $20. Pay the $20. Don't even think about it. I wish I had thought about this. Like, actually thought about doing this about 2 weeks ago, and I said, how many more of these am I going to build? Well, here I am still building them, and scratching the shit out of my optics. So do yourself a favor. Go on on eBay. It's on eBay. I think I said Amazon. I meant to say on eBay. That's where I found it. Go on eBay. Rear sight pusher. It's $15 plus $5 shipping, so it's $20. You're gonna save yourself the nightmare of dealing with these scratches. I mean, it's not that much of a big deal for me because I've got so many of these. You know, I use these to train people. You know, so whatever. But for most of you guys, you're probably not building that many, so you probably want to make, you know, keep it looking nice. Okay, so rather than scratch it up in the vise the way I did, get that rear sight pusher, and you'll be able to do it nice and neat. Oh, by the way, I also figured out today why Holosun changed their optic design to, you know, they put these, you see these little cutouts over here, right? You see that wasn't there last year in the first version of these 507s, and the reason is if you're using the nylon punch, right, and you're trying to push this over here, you see how you got a little bit more working space, you know, hit this. So that's why they ended up putting, you know, cutting out these corners over here. I was wondering, I'm like, why did they cut out the corners? But yeah, that makes sense. It's where you can get in there with your tools and push the slide back and forth without removing this optic over here. So I hope you guys found this this video useful. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe, put some comments in the comment section. Talk to you guys soon.